Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and in this video here, this is made by request actually. I've had a lot of people asking me, when do you know it's your turn? In a lot of fighting games, it's pretty easy to tell. Like, say something like Street Fighter, you did your fireball, well that's it, it's the other guy's turn, right? And turn just means basically who's at the advantage, who's at the disadvantage, and generally speaking when you're kind of close to each other. If you block that fireball from full screen, it's nobody's turn. It doesn't matter if you're technically negative. If you're both full screen, no one can do anything about it. So advantage or disadvantage in someone's face is generally the concept of what the turn is. If you have the advantage in their face, it's your turn. If they have you have the disadvantage in their face, then it is their turn. Now there is some concepts of stealing turns and all that, but we'll talk about that a little later. But when is it your turn? So I got Trunks here to do a basic block string. So whose turn is it right now? It's nobody's turn. Technically, the Masenko is not really safe on block. However, it's pushed me out to a distance where I can't really do too much about it. Like if I try to run forward, what am I going to do, right? Now, all things being equal, same sequence in the corner, I can easily punish him. So that move's not safe on block, but when you do it something like this here, the pushback is such that, like, what can I do? I'm just not close enough. So you really need to know what moves are negative on block, how negative they are. And honestly, with frame data still being quite sparse for the game, the only real way to figure this out is to test it out yourself, and that's not ideal, but that's how it is at the moment. But that is just, one thing of determining whose turn it is. Now, there's a lot more too, because, we have assists, right? So, if Trunks did the same thing in the corner, and he wants to blow all of his assists, well, that kind of changes things now, doesn't it? But now, besides that, there's some ways to make it your turn. This is the concept of stealing the turn. So, this is an example here I want to show you right now, and that has to do, once again, same block string here with Trunks. And we're going to use our deflect here, because there is a gap here, because, if I'm mashing like a madman, I'm going to get blasted by the Masenko. So let me just turn my inputs here, and I'll just show you me mashing like a madman. So there we go, I got smacked because there's a gap there. Now, if there's a gap there, any gap at all, this is all block strings, this is all attacks, this is anything with, it doesn't matter. Any form of attack, if there's any kind of gap, you're allowed to deflect. And if you can deflect, all of a sudden here, now we descend here, I'm, too far away after that setup to do anything about it. But if you're allowed to deflect, when we know it, we just kind of broke through it here, and we got to punish, because that bot is set to block after the Masenko, and he could not block. So we use the deflect to kind of steal the turn. Now, is everyone going to attack you with the same block string over and over and over again? No, they're not. But there is, player tendencies you can pick up, when people want to do certain things. Now, that all precludes the assists, right? So let's talk about assists and block strings at the moment. So now we have Trunks here trying to use the Nappa assist. So same setup as before here, calls a Nappa, and he's going to keep his attack going. So what if we try to get out with the same scenario here we tried earlier? We're going to try the same thing here, use the same setup. And there we go, I just tried to attack Trunks, and Nappa hit me on the way out. So the way we just got out is not going to work anymore. So, what we thought we had our turn now in place, because we stole the turn with the deflect, the assist kind of just, rained on our parade. It's not going to work anymore. So what do you do about that? So let's look at this critically here. Let's look at this scenario one more time. So same scenario, but we're going to change the point where we deflect. So there we go. It played out, as almost like I hit the end there. But we just changed the point here. We did not try to reflect the assist here. Although we could reflect the assist as well. I know I'll show that in a moment here. But we waited for Trunks to run forward, then we deflected, and we push him away. So here's the same scenario here, but we're going to deflect the assist as well. So that kind of works, right? But then again, this has, the decided disadvantage of, if I pick up on you're the kind of person to reflect everything. So in my own personal play, I've now noticed people have gotten a lot better about deflects and all that. So they are basically, ruining a lot of your offense, ruining a lot of your block strings, and constantly stealing turns left, right, and center, right? where it should be my turn because I'm the attacker, but they mash through any little gap here and just completely ruin my pressure. And even if they don't take the turn, they just reset the neutral, so it's definitely no longer my turn because I am my offense has been crippled. Now, if you're the kind of person who just really mash through it, what's going to happen is I'm going to stop, I'm going to see you mash, and then I'm going to Dragon Rush you. And, you know, that won't stop a Dragon Rush, right? So you really got to worry about that. Now, let's look at the same scenario, and we're now in the corner. So this is one of the best ways to steal turns, because in the corner, we have the Vanish. And it can definitely turn their offensive pressure into your offensive pressure. But there is a decided, you know, weakness to this. So you can, generally speaking, if there's like a big gap, you can vanish through it, right? Boom. We just vanish through it. Now, they're in the corner, and we got them on the ropes, right? But if there's just a tiny gap, like right here, where the Masenko is a thing, let's try that one more time here. The Vanish won't work. It does not work right away. You do need a little bit of time to breathe here. But basically speaking, if at any point you are not directly in block stun and there's a perceptible gap, that's when it's very much the safest to vanish out. Obviously, it does cost you a bar, but I think it's more than well worth the bar to vanish out of the corner and not only have yourself out of the corner, but put them in the corner. Now, this usually, in my experience, triggers what I call the Vanish War, because then they just saw you do them, like, well, that's a good idea, I'm going to do it too, right? So, you know, still susceptible just to see, you can totally see the startup and just down heavy it on reaction. So, you know, it's not, you know, infallible by any stretch of the means. But when that pressure's happening, you don't have to be a complete victim and just submit to everything, right? You can always deflect, and you can always have the option, if there's more than a tiny gap here, to vanish out. Alright, so now this is the ultimate nightmare scenario of when is it my turn. So we got Adult Gohan, the human blender himself, and I got Nappy here, because Nappa's big and he's wide and he's extra susceptible to this kind of stuff. So when is it my turn? Let's find out. Oh god, I don't even know how to block this stuff even though I recorded it myself. That's how bad this stuff gets sometimes. Gohan is definitely the ultimate blender in this game. You know, when is it my turn? Like, I can't even block that myself. You know, when's it my turn? I don't want to be in this situation, right? So, here's where it can be your turn. Can you deflect out? No, you can't. Especially not the tall characters. Can you vanish through a gap? No, because there's no gap big enough for you to vanish through. So that's not going to work. So what are we going to do in this horde situation? So I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. This is the ultimate take back your turn. It's going to cost you a bar, but this is the best way to take back your turn. That's the guard cancel. So that's forward and assist while you are blocking. You have to be blocking. If you're neutral, you're just going to do a raw tag or call an assist or whatever. While you're in the block stun, you just hit forward and assist, and you'll call in your current partner. Now, say if your assists are used up and they're on cooldown, this doesn't matter for this particular scenario here. So here we go. We just called in Yamcha. He was on cooldown. It doesn't matter. That part doesn't matter. If you guard cancel, you'll have longer than usual cooldown, just so you know. But that part's fine. Now, it is not infallible. Now, just so you know here. So we're going to wait this out a little bit here. Alright, and once you know, we just got hit. So, you're going to have to look for gaps. Now, it's not always going to work. Now, here we have Adult Gohan, so this is, you know, the blender situation we're using. The part you're looking for is that machine gun kick. While he's doing that machine gun kick, he cannot do anything else, so he won't be constantly, like, mashing quick little buttons here. He can't do anything else other than that, so that's the point you want to guard cancel through. Now, this part's gonna be different for pretty much every character. The assist is invincible coming in for a couple frames, but they're not invincible all the way. So, if there's constantly new attacks being thrown at them, they're not gonna break through. So you have to wait for the point, there we go, found my words, the point where the opponent's either gotten in a longer animation, or there's otherwise, you know, a lull in the constant barrage. That's the point where you gotta do it. Now, you will have to learn this character by character. That's the simple truth. There's no easy way out. So, in this scenario here, like, once again, this is the big, you know, awful scenario that's super hard. Like I can't even block it myself, and I know this is coming, right? That's the frustrating, and once you be like, I don't want to be here, I don't want to be here, I don't want to be here, and like you're tempted to hit something and you can't hit something because you're going to get smacked. That's really bad place to be. But the guard cancel is the one way to salvage it and then just take away their turn and salvage it. You know, it won't be your turn, but at least salvage it to neutral so you can breathe again. So that's just a few scenarios to go through. Obviously, you know, with so many assists, so many block strings, there's a million permutations out there to talk about. Now, the big things is simply when, you know, you're on offense, that's great. You know, watch out for people who are very prone to deflect, because you are able to Dragon Rush them. So if you find someone's very prone to deflect, you know, feel free to just to stop for a second, because you're going to find them mashing deflect like a madman, at which point you can drag them rush them. And when you're on defense, you know, sometimes you also got to mash that reflect like a madman, you know, because not everyone's going to be able to call you on it and Dragon Rush you. That's definitely reading the player, not reading the, you know, characters on the game, but reading the player themselves. So you really need to know when you should deflect. If you are lucky enough to have a character with an invincible move, like, you know, if we have Vegeta here, Vegeta, he can steal the turn very easily, much more easily than most of the character here, because he can steal a move with his invincible reversal, and so can Gohan here. Gohan also has invincible reversal. So, but other than the very few characters that have an invincible move, the only true way to steal a turn is to either use your deflect and then follow with an attack, or do a level 3, which is very risky, but level 3s are true invincible moves, so they can be matched through any gap. Or, you know, sometimes also waiting out the storm is the way to go. And maybe, you know, look at what the opponent's doing, because sometimes you can just see a small gap and just jump and dash out. That's totally a valid thing. So when it comes to the concept of turns, sometimes, you know, you can't steal the turn. Sometimes it's just best to reset the neutral, but at least they're not abandoned face. It's not their turn, right? And for the really high pressure situations, please don't be afraid to try the tag cancel out mechanic out. You know, I'm guilty of it myself. I rarely do it. I'm trying to do it more often. But for, you know, big scenarios here where, you know, you're getting a lot of pressure, it might just be what the doctor ordered, just to help reset back to the neutral and, you know, just give you a chance to breathe. But anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this video found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.